Galway, line out as selected. Sean Tracy, Michael Coleman in defence as this All-Ireland semi-final gets underway. Willie Barrett, Tipperary, setting the game in motion. So it's Galway playing with wind advantage in this first half. And already I see that Liam Walsh is just hobbling as that ball goes down towards Eamon Morrissey. Gathered easily by Liam Burke, gets the first ball. Now, point on here, well defended by Paul Phelan. Kilkenny survive. Early nerves evident. It's Willie O'Connor, puts the ball down towards Liam McCarthy. John Power pulling on it first time. Sean Tracy, Liam Fennelly, and Liam Fennelly getting the touch. Coming across is Paul Cooney. John Power, Sean Tracy. And that goes out for 65. I must say that Sean Tracy's speed there left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, well, I understand he received an injury playing against Cork in a challenge game last weekend, Marty, and a lot of Galway people were surprised he was even declared fit to play, and he looked a bit sluggish there going to that ball, and he certainly wanted to be on his toes against a player like Liam Fennelly, who was very, very good in the Leinster final.
So there's 65 will be taken by Paul Phelan. Remember, Kilkenny playing against the wind in this first half. But wind or no wind, he puts it over the bar. That's a great start for Kilkenny and for Paul Phelan. Richard Burke's puck out. They're switching forward to this side. Coming out to meet it is Michael Kenny. 3 Sarsfields men playing in this team in Galway. Michael Kenny, Joe Cooney, and Michael McGrath, and they're all in the forwards. Up towards Liam McCarthy. Another doubtful starter for Kilkenny during the week. Passed the fitness test. DJ Carey. Good probing ball. Richard Burke reading it all the way. Bill Hennessy goes down to the hopper McGrath. Brendan Keogh, searching ball in towards Joe Rabbit, connected well, goes to the wrong side of the post. Joe Rabbit from Athenry was a member of last year's under-21 team. In fact, he was man of the match against Offaly in the All-Ireland final. Michael Walsh's puck out. Well pulled on by Pat Malone. Paul Phelan intercepting well. Paul Cooney, DJ Carey coming in. This is Adrian Ronan. Back to Bill Hennessy. Driving it in towards Eamon Morrissey. Richard Burke is there. Michael Coleman getting there ahead of John Power. Will Simpson getting it behind him. This is Willie O'Connor from Glenmore. Michael Hopper McGrath running into a spot of bother. Once again it's Willie O'Connor. Adrian Ronan. Both teams going through the process of settling as quickly as possible. It's John Power, a lot of space. Goes for the point. It's tailing to the right and wide. John Power from Callan, playing well at the moment. And he's certainly a player that is anxious to do better than what he did in last year's All-Ireland final when he picked up a rather bad hand injury.
He's a very good player in general, Marty, very wholehearted, and Kilkenny, I think he plays a very good game as centre half forward for them, keeps the ball moving to players inside him like DJ Carey and Liam Fennelly, Eamon Morrissey, and if he keeps doing that, he'll do a good job for them, especially on Michael Coleman today.
There's John Power again, Michael Coleman blocking him this time. Comes to Pat Malone. Oran Moore-Mary. Tough battle around midfield. Tom Hellebert. Race with Joe Rabbit, Michael McGrath, still Rabbit, using his strength, getting the ball in, and Michael Walsh is there. Walsh, usually dependable, And on this occasion he passed the test with flying colours. It's a line ball for Kilkenny.
Joe Rabbit has started quite well for Galway. Looks dangerous in the full forward line, and Liam Simpson doesn't get it back to there. And good shot on the ground by Joe Rabbit, and well saved by Michael Walsh, who's playing very well this year at a great Leinster final.
There's John Power again, trying to kick it across to Michael Phelan, the Tish, as they call him. Eamon Morrissey getting inside Christy Halliburtt. Poor effort by Eamon Morrissey. This is a man that Galway will have to watch very closely. Normally fairly deadly round the 20-metre line from any angle.
It was a bad miss by Morrissey. Normally in that situation he's deadly accurate, particularly on his favourite right hand side, but a very good ball in by Michael Phelan again. Kenny are very good at this, getting the ball in low to the inside forward, and bad miss by Morrissey really.
Michael McGrath seems to have the better at the moment of Liam Simpson, but that's a fine knock down by young Simpson from Bennett's Bridge. Gets the cross in. Eddie O'Connor leaving it behind him. Liam Walsh was there. Michael Coleman, John Power getting the little touch, puts a bit of pressure on Jerry McInerney. Liam McCarthy. That's a great play by Liam McCarthy. Christy Halliburtt is there. Gives a good clearance. Under 21 hurling for Galway this year. On with his brother Jerry. It's right half forward, Justin Campbell. Kiltormer drops in a ball which is dropping. Oh, that is a great point. I saw him play in the All-Ireland Club Championship, and indeed in the series, particularly great matches against Cashel King Cormacs and against Burr in the All-Ireland Cup final, showing that he's kept that form right to August.
He has indeed. He's had a long year and a very exciting young player. Great defending as well there by Christy Halliburtt, who won a very good ball in his own defence and struck a ball across the field. Well won by Campbell, and a great point from play.
Galway exert more pressure. Back out to Campbell, driving it in quickly and fast. Fast ball into the full forward line. You can't beat it. Except on this occasion, Eddie O'Connor is able to read it. Read it well, giving it out to Willie. Comes down to Michael Phelan, another Glenmore man. Putting it into space. Ian McCarthy and Jerry McInerney. Eamon Morrissey coming to pick up the break. Dropping in towards Liam Fennelly, gathers it well, and takes the point with ease. And Liam Fennelly, even at this early stage, seems to just have that edge on Sean Tracy.
He does indeed, and it's good play again by Michael Phelan, who wins a good ball and drops into Morrissey. Morrissey doesn't think he can score himself, but he knocks it inside to Liam Fennelly, who wins a good ball, just gets away from Sean Tracy. He looks very sharp, Fennelly, and scores a very good point. Good play by Kilkenny, a well-worked score.
Out lands at the far side. Paul Phelan, Bill Hennessy, getting it down towards DJ Carey. Tom Halliburtt is deemed to have fouled him, so it's a free for Kilkenny. Tom Halliburtt from Ballindereen, brother of the left corner back Christie. Paul Phelan putting all the muscles behind it. It's Liam Fennelly again, cute as a fox, nips in. This time his accuracy just leaving him down. He's very much the leader of this attack, Jimmy.
He's a very experienced player, Martin. He's a great man to take up positions around the edge of the square in particular, and always takes an awful lot of watching. He was very disappointed, I know, last year by his performance in the All-Ireland final, and he's been able to atone for it this year, and his performance is certainly, he looks a lot sharper than he did last year.
Break falls nicely for Liam Burke, who was fouled, and it's a free in for Liam Burke. And the man from Kilkenny in County Galway looks sharp this afternoon. So sides level now. Ball dropping down in the centre of the field. Pulled down by Paul Phelan, easily intercepted however. Sending it back up is Michael Coleman. Good play by Liam Burke. Good harassing by Galway. It's not spectacular stuff, but it's effective. Goes back to Pat Malone. Joe Cooney. The umpire falls down, but he manages to get to his feet to signal to his partner that that went to the wrong side of the post.
That was an unusual incident there just a few minutes ago, Marty, when the referee seemed to give a free to Galway, but I think when he confirmed that the ball had been put over the bar by the Galway player as he was fouled, he decided to allow the score and didn't need a free to be taken.
Ball falls down for Liam Walsh. That's a line ball for Galway.
Such a stage of the game now when you feel that Galway need to settle down, try and get a few scores and poke their noses in front of Kilkenny, put a little bit of pressure on the Kilkenny defence. They haven't really been putting an awful lot of pressure on them yet, and you'd like to see how Kilkenny would respond if Galway went a few points ahead of them.
This is Pat Malone. Already has 2 All-Irelands to his credit in 87 and 88. Liam Walsh picking it up at the break, sending it straight back down. John Power cleverly watching for the break. It's a good play by the centre-half forward. He's fouled by Michael Coleman. That should be picked out for a coaching video because he didn't even attempt to go for the ball, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, that's something you should always do. There's no need for 2 or 3 players of the same team to go in for the ball. John Power quite cleverly, as you say, waited to watch the break, and when he gathered it, was working his way through to get into a scoring position when he was fouled, and it gives DJ Carey an excellent chance to get another score for Kilkenny.
So Kilkenny possibly to go 1 point in front. Drops it in dangerously. Well won by Christy Halliburtt. I think he was amazed himself that he got so much room. Liam Burke unfortunate to slip at the wrong time, so the advantage swings back to Kilkenny. Michael Phelan to take the sideline puck. The titch hits it sweetly. Coleman cleaning up a lot of loose ball around centre half back. Michael Phelan is there again. Chasing after. It's Brendan Keogh. Good harassment by Galway. Comes back to Adrian Ronan. Dropping it dangerously in and well gathered by Tom Halliburtt. Well dispossessed, DJ Carey. Difficult angle. And Richard Burke is satisfied to just tap it over the bar. Really, he could do nothing else with it. That's a fabulous point by DJ. He had his back to the goals when he had a shot. Good
player, good scorer, very skillful, under a lot of pressure, but I think it was a ball that Galway should really have cleared. Tom Halliburtt had it inside in his own defence, and he was half blocked down, and DJ Carey snapped up and put it over the bar. I just feel that the Kilkenny forwards, Marty, are very sharp, and they look to be more threatening than Galway's at the moment, and you feel that there are more scores in them somehow.
Well pulled on by Pat Malone. Turning up towards Joe Rabbit. Pat Dwyer is there. Dwyer there again. Phil Hennessy picking it up nicely. Since his move to cornerback, seemingly the Kilkenny selectors are very happy with his performances around midfield. Joe Cooney with Bill Hennessy. Getting it out first, Brendan Keogh. Back to Joe Cooney. Dangerous ball. Well won by Eddie O'Connor. Great-hearted player from Glenmore. Giving it to his partner and colleague in the full back line, Liam Simpson. This game not really sparkling into life as of yet. Bill Hennessy being held, being given the free.
It's interesting to watch Kilkenny backs when their Galway player gets the ball before the Marty. They're very good to flick it away, even one-handed, even 10 yards, and they're good to read it and back each other up and knock it away for a good clearance, and they're very quick and very cute at that.
So once again it's Paul Phelan that's going across to take this free. Already has 1 point to his credit. That's a dangerous ball. And it goes off Sean Tracy according to the umpire. Sean a little bit disgusted with the decision. But it's 65 for Kilkenny. As we now have 14.5 minutes gone in the first half. Should be pointed out, of course, that Kilkenny are playing against a very strong breeze. Nice summer breeze. Comes to Liam Pillilay. Oh, that's a great goal. Gave Richard Burke no chance. But Pillilay anywhere around the square is absolutely deadly. It would were just saying that they were playing against the breeze, but that's a tonic and a great boost to Kilkenny.
Well, he is at Paul Phelan, just about taking 65, knocks into the square, and really you can't afford to give Liam Fennelly the kind of room he got here in this situation, and gathers the ball well. He's a great eye for the ball, and you know, he gets the room to swing his hurling. He's deadly in around that range.
Down on the other end, we have a point for Galway, scored by Joe Cooney. So that's exactly what this game needed, was a couple of quick scores. 1-3 to 3 points. Liam Burke certainly able to get possession. That's a good ball over towards Justin Campbell. Half blocked down by Willie O'Connor. A little bit too casual by Galway. That's a great hard to play by Eddie O'Connor. Plays with Kilkenny footballers as well. One of Kilkenny's few dual stars. The ball sent across by Liam Burke, not with any degree of confidence. Justin Campbell intercepting well, but he's unable to keep it in. Line ball for Kilkenny.
That's poor play by Galway, really. They need to get the ball in around the square to Joe Rabbit and try and put pressure on the Kilkenny defence, and instead they're hitting short passes 5 and 10 yards across the field, and Kilkenny backs are just getting away, knocking away from them.
So Bill Hennessy from Tullaroan getting it in. Paul Cooney, Killimore Daly, I think it's the better pronunciation. Gets it down towards midfielder Brendan Keogh. Kilkenny certainly seem to be settling a lot better now. The handling by Galway, a little bit jittery to say the least. Michael Coleman unable to keep it in. In fact, the umpire has signalled that the ball went wide. Richard Burke, farmer in Maori, was the All-Ireland Under-21 goalkeeper last year for Galway, and this is very much going to be a team for the future. That's what the Galway people are hoping for, at least. It's a line ball for the tribesmen. So 17.5 minutes gone in the first half. Galway find themselves trailing by a goal, despite playing with reasonably strong breeze. Poor ball by Tom Helibert. Ball into space with Hennessy, cleverly to Paul Phelan. And a long quick ball up towards Liam Fennelly and Eamon Morrissey. Back to John Power. Liam McCarthy calling for it to his right. He goes it alone and he sends it wide. This game needs a Galway goal, really, Jimmy.
It does really. It's quite scrappy and very dead at the moment, and the goal that Kilkenny got there certainly seems to knock the stuffing out of Galway for a while, and they need their midfield and half hours to get on top and try and bring them into the game and get the ball into their full forward, which they haven't been doing at all at this stage. We just feel like Kilkenny are in control in too many departments for Galway at the moment.
Richard Burke, hook out, trying to find Joe Cooney. Better ball, aimed at Joe Rabbit, who gathers it. Tries to get inside Pat Dwyer. Still Rabbit. Great run by Rabbit. And a great goal. Comes back off the post. Oh dear, I thought that was gone in. It looked to certainty because he got inside the Kilkenny defence. That was a marvellous effort by Joe Rabbit. Kilkenny under pressure now as Willie O'Connor gets the free. But let's be honest, Jimmy, that should have been a goal.
Well, he did. I think Marty did everything right, in fairness to him. Great ball in by Joe Cooney first of all, and Joe Rabbit kicks it and he just hits off the crossbar. He did everything right. I think he was just unlucky that he hit the crossbar rather than just going in under it. It had to be a goal from that distance. But in fairness to him, that's just the kind of ball that the Galway full forward line need, and they need more of that to pressure on the Kilkenny defence.
Free for Kilkenny, and that pull by the Galway defender. So Kilkenny try to exert more pressure on Galway and try and get, in some way, their dominance reflected on the scoreboard. DJ Carey to take the free of 55 metres out. Ball just seemed to go a little bit too high, and well gathered by Mike Coleman, but he loses out. That sort of handling, All-Ireland semi-final, is a dangerous preoccupation. It's Pat Malone, does well. Sent it down towards his half-forward line. That's another free for Galway. This time Michael Kenny being one that was fouled. So Joe Cooney with the free. A familiar style of Joe Cooney, and the familiar accuracy as Galway get the most valuable point and reduce the Kilkenny lead to just 2 points. Michael Walsh with the puck out. Willie O'Connor with the interception, sending it into space. But Adrian Ronan unable to reach it. That's a line ball for Galway. Adrian Ronan from Craig Ballycallan is a man who has been finding it difficult to get on the first 15, has been on and off over the past number of seasons. Paul Cooney getting it to Tom Helibert. And the sideline cutting by Galway leaves a lot to be desired. Joe Rabbit coming way out, and certainly Joe Rabbit has the beating of Pat Dwyer, at least out to it, as Liam Fennelly seems to have the better of Sean Tracy at the other end. Kilkenny half back line. Under a spot of bother at the moment. And Hopper McGrath sending in a good ball. Again, making sure that Rabbit is underneath it. Pat Dwyer just gets a hurley to it. Fires Willie O'Connor. And that's going to be another line ball for Galway.
Well, they're just brilliant up their game now with Martin. If they can get a goal or another point at this stage, it can give them great heart. And, you know, Joe Cooney starting to come into the game. If they can get more of the ball into Joe Rabbit full forward, he seems to have the beating of Pat Dwyer. That's what they need to get more ball in, more direct to the full forward and put maximum pressure on the Kilkenny defence.
Brendan Keogh from Athenry, sending it in towards Liam Burke. Burke playing well actually at left half forward. Has a go, and it's gone over the bar. That'll give him a great degree of confidence. That's his first point for Galway at senior championship level. A much relieved man. Just 1 point between the sides, and we now have 22.5 minutes gone in the first half. Brendan Keogh unable to hold on to it. Bill Hennessy getting there ahead of Tom Helibert. Going back is Michael Coleman. And his reading of the game is quite good actually, Michael Coleman. He's able to anticipate the breaks well. So too is Liam Simpson at the other end. Tom Helibert pushing his shot there really. It's an easy ball for Willie O'Connor to gather. He loses out to Joe Cooney. Michael Kenny has switched corners with Michael McGrath taking on his marker. Eddie O'Connor, and the referee again saying, I do not like that sort of a challenge. So it's a free for Galway. Eddie O'Connor going into his familiar right corner back position. Joe Cooney. Difficult angle, but no problem. The man from New End in County Galway. So the sides are level. It took Galway a while to settle, but as we approach the 24th minute, they find themselves level with the Kilkenny Cats. Ball falls down for Joe Cooney. Driving it in fast and low. Willie O'Connor, losing out to Justin Campbell. And Justin Campbell gathers it nicely. Cutting through. Goal opportunity. Oh, what a goal! Campbell from Kiltormer shows the Galway people that there's fire left in the west. From being 3 points down, they found themselves level. Now they find themselves 3 points in front.
Great play by Justin Campbell. Robs Willie O'Connor there, thinking, flicks it inside him. Controls it brilliantly. That's not easy because the defenders are racing back, putting him under fierce pressure. But he has great pace and it's an unstoppable shot. Past Michael Walsh, and just the boost that Galway needed. They're really tumbling into the game at the moment.
And all of a sudden, Croke Park comes alive. It took 24 minutes for it to happen, but now we've a match and a half here in Croke Park. Christy Helibert is the man that's down injured. Played a few times in the league for Galway. Played well against Carlow in the quarter-final.
It was really a great goal because Campbell had to do all the hard work himself, Marty. They put the Kilkenny defence under pressure and robbed him beautifully. His control was fantastic and gave Michael Walsh no chance. You know, really, they've come into the game in the last 5 minutes and a couple of points that Joe Cooney got from frees has given them the confidence, and now they're putting a lot of pressure on the Kilkenny defence.
Certainly interesting in terms of even the reaction from the crowd, because just 2 weeks ago today, the Leinster final was great atmosphere. Today the crowd were very quiet. Now they seem to be getting into the play.
Yeah, that's Galway over the years. You know, once they get going at all, the crowd really get behind them, and it's a big factor for this team. And you know, with a lot of young players, when they sense the crowd behind them, it'll give them a great boost. And you know, they're well in this game now.
So Christy Helibert has recovered sufficiently to take this free. That's the first decent cut we've had from a Galway man all afternoon. Joe Cooney showing some of the old touches and getting Joe Rabbit. And Rabbit is playing well at full forward. This time he fouled the ball, and he's given free to Kilkenny.
That seemed a bit harsh. He seemed to have gathered the ball beautifully. I didn't think he took too many steps that time, but the referee was nearer than I was. And Joe Rabbit is certainly looking very sharp now, and along with Justin Campbell and Joe Cooney, they're playing very well.
Pat Dwyer, Sean Tracy getting a hurley to it, comes out towards Adrian Ronan. It's inside Paul Cooney. Christy Helibert coming across the challenge, survives at Adrian Ronan, and Richard Burke confident, and that's a good ball by the goalkeeper. Out to a loose player who happens to be Pat Malone from the same club, Oranmore Maori, down towards Liam Burke from Kilkenny. The Galway players are beginning to show the talent they had last year in the Under-21 series, but Willie O'Connor is having no more of it. Gets the ball down towards Eamon Morrissey. Coleman nipping in, a little bit too casually perhaps, trying to pick it up. Better off to pull it and get rid of it, because Eamon Morrissey snaps it up and he puts it over the bar. They really have to be fast and furious, the Galway defence, because if you give these Kilkenny lads half a chance, well, they really are fine forwards.
Yeah, that was a great point by Morrissey, and that's what he's very good at. Very quick to snap up the chance and take his own point. But again, it was a ball that the Galway forwards overplayed. A ball across the field to Justin Campbell, when it could just as easily have been hit directly into the full forward line. And intercepted by Willie O'Connor and cleared up the field for a good Kilkenny score, and an important score as well.
Willie O'Connor playing well at left half back, has settled in despite conceding that goal to Justin Campbell. It's John Power. Poor ball, Christy Helibert reading it well. That's a rather harsh challenge by John Power. Really, I think he was more frustrated with himself with the poor ball he gave into Liam Fennelly than anything else. Christy Helibert. Hits it long and true, up towards Joe Cooney, who gathers it. Bringing it back outside to Michael McGrath. Dropping it in towards Joe Rabbit. Knocked down towards Joe Cooney. Justin Campbell, well blocked down by Liam Simpson. Paul Phelan, Liam Burke, forcing his way through without a hurley. And he puts it over the bar. The referee allowing it to see. And he's not, in fact, he can't score from the hand, so I think he's going to disallow it. I think the umpire thought that he could, because he was putting up the flag, and the referee correct in his decision, giving a free out to Kilkenny.
You can see it again, Marty. Ball knocked back inside, and the Galway player just gathers it here. He's under pressure from the Kilkenny defence. He doesn't have room to hit it, so he hand passes it up in the air. And as you know, you can't score from a hand pass, so the referee gives Kilkenny a free out.
It's good play. Galway now playing with far more confidence. Liam Walsh. Ball with more height than any degree of distance. Liam McCarthy sending it across to Adrian Ronan. Paul Cooney having difficulties with him. Richard Burke confident between the posts. Joe Cooney, superb catch, sending it into Joe Rabbit. Good play by Dwyer, getting a hurley to it. Comes back to Liam Burke, who has a go. Oh, that's a great point by Liam Burke. And Galway are playing with far more confidence.
Yeah, Galway half forward line in particular now are doing very well. Joe Cooney has really come into the game, and I'd say Kilkenny will be concerned that he's getting the breathing of Paul Phelan very much, and all the Galway forwards are responding to his very good play. He looks a lot fitter than he did last year, and he's having a big effect on the Galway team today.
Just about 5 minutes left in the first half. Galway were very slow to settle, but they've gotten into their stride now. Tom Helibert starts another attack, trying to find Joe Rabbit, but that's not going to find anybody except Michael Walsh between the posts for a puck out. So Galway, their tails up at the moment, looking far better as we approach the half-time whistle. Well gathered by Michael Coleman, leading his team from centre half back. Justin Campbell just getting a hurley to it. Comes outside to Michael Kenny. Scored 2 goals and a point against Cork in a challenge last week. And on that performance, got his place here in Croke Park. Fouled by Liam Walsh.
Kenny will be very concerned, Marty, that the backs are under a lot of pressure, in particular their half back line. I'd imagine they'll be looking at that as it comes near to half time to make a few changes there. And also in the half forward line,
Joe Cooney driving that one wide.
I was going to say, Marty, also in their half forward line, John Power has been well beaten by Michael Coleman, who's captain of the team, and he's having an inspirational game, catching the puck outs in particular, and he's lifting his colleagues around him.
And he, like the rest of the Galway players, seem to be a little bit more settled now.
That's right, they've really come into the game in the last 10 minutes, and you know, they're getting top in vital positions, and that's going to be a great boost coming up to half time.
This is Michael Phelan, helmet discarded, serious job here to do. Tom Helibert, out towards Justin Campbell. Willie O'Connor just getting a touch to it. Justin keeping it in, but Willie O'Connor snaps it up to John Power. Took his eye off it. Michael Coleman, however, is now beginning to dominate at centre half back, as Jimmy was saying. Michael Phelan is going to be the first player in this All-Ireland Semi-Final to be booked. Michael disappointed, I think, that he's been booked for that challenge, but the referee, Willie Barrett, having none of it. So free for Joe Cooney on the Kilkenny 65-metre line. 3 points between the sides. 2 minutes left to the half-time whistle. Dropping it in. Joe Rabbit going out to gather it after knocking it down. And he had to work very hard for it, and he definitely has the beating of Pat Dwyer. That's a valuable point by Joe Rabbit.
Very good score there again for Galway, and that score resulted from Willie O'Connor coming out of defence. He had the ball in his own, Martin. He could have hit it into the Galway full back line. He elected for a short pass to John Power, intercepted free into Galway, and resulted in a very good score for Joe Rabbit.
Again, Coleman underneath it, but took his eye off it this time. Paul Cooney. It's a poor ball because it comes straight to Liam McCarthy. And I think that Ollie Walsh would not be too impressed with that sort of hurling. Kenny usually play it direct and fast. Michael Phelan putting inside the Galway men like a knife through butter, but this time he failed to put it over the bar.
To be perfectly honest, my immediate impression was that that ball was over the bar, Marty, and from our angle here, which is fairly good, and that post, it looked like it just got inside the post. It would have been an important score for Kilkenny as well if they'd got it. Here again you see Michael Phelan on his right hand, whether the camera catches it or not. You can see it there quite clearly. I think just going inside the post, so it looks to be a perfectly good point to me anyway.
So maybe the luck is going Galway's way. As Eddie O'Connor sends it back down towards Jerry McInerney. John Power gathers it. Still Power bursting his way through, fouled by Michael Coleman. So it's a free for DJ Carey, and should be a relatively easy task for DJ. Kenny forwards, bringing around the house. DJ in his now familiar pose lifts and puts it over for an easy point for Kilkenny, reducing down Galway's lead to just 3 points. As you can see, we're now just come beyond the 35th minute. Very much up to the referee at this stage. Jerry McInerney and Liam McCarthy pulling in it first time. Christy Helleberg coming out. Eamon Morrissey. Nice flick from Michael Coleman. Sean Tracy working out well. Joe Cooney just getting a hurley to it. Liam Walsh coming in, bursting his way forward. Great-hearted player from Glenmore, giving it in to really nobody in particular. Jerry McInerney did well. Great play by Jerry McInerney, but the referee has blown the half-time whistle on a match that for the first 20 minutes really failed to inspire anybody. A dull opening, but slowly but surely Galway got back into this game and got a fine goal. And so at half-time, Galway, having played with wind advantage, lead by 3 points. Galway 1-8, John Parr and Michael Phelan are now at midfield for Kilkenny. And certainly a major blow to Kilkenny to see Liam Walsh off. But then when you have a substitute like Christy Heffernan, well then, just shows you the depth of talent that there is in Kilkenny. Michael Phelan. Galway will have to play out of their skins now against the breeze. As Kilkenny look to be very much the form team at the moment. Bill Hennessy. Michael McGrath, the hopper. Trying to get inside Liam Simpson, but he loses out. And the linesman indicates clearly that it is a Kilkenny ball. Interesting decision, Jimmy Barry Murphy, to bring in Christy Heffernan. Yeah,
early in the second half especially, because I would have thought they might have brought him on with 20 minutes to go, but maybe they were concerned about the half-back line as well, Martin. They wanted to put Bill Hennessy back right half-back, where they've been in big trouble there. And maybe that's what they're hoping to do. And Michael Coleman also was dominating at centre half-back, so they're hoping Christy Heffernan will obviously get possession, and the break is trying to hold heat on the game.
Here from Galway again. Well played by Willie O'Connor. Michael Coleman. Adrian Ronan. Sean Tracy trying to cover. Did well. Liam Fennelly picking up the break. Oh, good ball across to Christy Heffernan with his first touch. And that's a beautiful point. Within seconds of coming on for the second half, he gets the space and he puts it over the bar.
Well, it's typical Kilkenny play here. Liam Fennelly spots a loose man. And that's the time to play a short pass across the place. But Christy Heffernan is standing all in the zone, and very good score for Heffernan. That will be a good boost to Kilkenny to start of the second half.
So Galway player down injured. So it looked like to be an accidental clash. Jerry Holland, the trainer there, just keeping an eye to see if his player can resume. And Galway looked to be a little bit concerned, including Jarrett Cloonan there, a yellow band in his left arm.
I think it's Pat Malone actually who received an accidental clash there, a high ball between a couple of players going for it. And Galway midfield have been playing quite well, and they'll be hoping that Pat Malone will be okay. He's a very good hurler, and he's had quite a good game today.
How big a factor, though, is the wind, Jimmy, when you have a game, teams very evenly balanced at the moment?
Well, it certainly is a help, Marty. In the second game, the first game in particular, when Cork were playing, you could see the distance Ger Cunningham was getting into his puck-outs and his clearances, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defence, and inevitably, I suppose, opportunities will appear. You could see there even that broken bit of play we had there. Liam Fennelly was able to spot Christy Heffernan loose and pick him out quite easily. Openings do come, and it's a matter of how you use the open spaces with the wind, but it certainly is an advantage, and Kilkenny are cute enough to be able to use it to their advantage.
Anxious faces in the crowd here at Croke Park. And certainly Galway, people are a little bit concerned when you see the stretcher coming on, and it seems to be a facial injury. As Galway's Pat Malone seems to be the player that's down injured. This is the incident again, Jimmy.
Yeah, you can see Christy Heffernan, who's just come on, big strong man there, and the Galway players actually seem to collide with each other. Christy seemed to have his eye on the ball, and Jerry McInerney and Pat Malone. Jerry McInerney actually won the ball very well, but Pat Malone coming in underneath him seemed to catch his head. knock his head off either Christy Heffernan helmet or Joe McInerney.
Well, that's rather sad sight to see. A major blow to Galway, and a player who has the epitome of what good sportsmanship is all about. Pat Malone going off injured. So now we have an interesting scenario. Tony Keady has been introduced by Galway, and he's gone in centre half back on Christy Heffernan. So an old familiar clash back in Croke Park again. Tony Keady wearing number 17. Originally the Galway County Board decided he was going to wear number 24, but when Brendan Dervin failed a fitness test, he was given the number 17 jersey. As Joe Cooney takes the free and puts it over the bar. That's his 4th point in this All-Ireland semi-final. So still 3 points between the sides. Michael Walsh with his first puck out, with the wind to his back. It's a good play by DJ Carey, just getting it in past Liam Fennelly. John Power eventually gathers it, sends in a ball which is going to be very difficult for him and Morrissey to gather. So it's a puck out for Richard Burke. Richard, I'm sure, will be in no rush whatsoever. Made his championship debut just 12 months ago in this very match in the All-Ireland semi-final against Tipperary. It's a fine puck out against the breeze. Puts pressure on Paul Phelan, who concedes the sideline cut.
It's a great puck out actually against the wind. It's going to be an important factor for Galway if he keeps on pucking it as long as that. He's played very well in goal. He's very confident and he's done very, very well.
So this sideline ball to be taken by Brendan Keogh from Athenry. Trainee accountant in Limerick, getting it in. Joe Cooney back to his very best. Joe Rabbit gathering it, trying to get a hurley to it. In fact, he's hurley less and he gets it across, but Willie O'Connor is there. Really, Galway should use the tactic, Jimmy, of sending that ball into Rabbit, because he is causing problems.
And Joe Cooney in particular is finding him very well now, and if Galway can keep finding Joe Cooney and Joe Rabbit, they're going to pose big problems for the Kilkenny defence. They're playing very well, trying hard, and Kilkenny are being put under a little bit of pressure, and it's going to be interesting to see how they can respond to that.
Paul Phelan with the free. Dead smack in the centre of the pitch. Dropping it very much to the right, kept in splendidly by Eamon Morrissey. Christy Heffernan, half blocked down by Tony Keady, and Christy Halliburtt finishes the job. Bill Hennessy moved to right half back at half time. It's a great run. Sending it dangerously across. Tony Keady unable to hold on to it. It comes to Liam McCarthy, half blocked down. Christy sending it across to Liam Fennelly. Sean Tracy, Paul Cooney in fact, coming out with it. It's good play. From Daly. No relation to Joe Cooney, a newcomer to the Galway senior hurling panel. This is Eddie O'Connor, who's fouled. It's a free out for Kilkenny. So this free to be taken just inside Kilkenny's 45-metre line. Well gathered again by Paul Cooney. Tony Keady unable to hold on to it. Back goes Cooney again. Playing very well with his club, Daly. Bursting his way out and given the free. Good play by the right cornerback. Inspirational stuff, in fact.
Well, the backs have improved quite a lot now, Marty. Sean Tracy also getting on top of Liam Fennelly there quite a bit. Paul Cooney, very good defending there, and this will give them a bit of respite now. They'll be hoping again to pick out Joe Cooney or Joe Rabbit and bring them into the game.
Sean Tracy, prison officer in Mountjoy, getting it down to the farmer from New Inn, Joe Cooney. Again the ball, trying to get it in quickly to Michael Hopper McGrath, Liam Simpson, and Hopper did well. The because he actually sought the free, as well as being fouled, he sought the free. A little bit of acting, but he got away with it, Michael.
He certainly seemed to play for it a bit there, whether I think he was probably fouled all right and he made a meal of it, but the referee was in very quick and gave him a free. But again, good play by Cooney, getting the ball in quickly inside to the full forward line, and they're putting a lot of pressure on this Kilkenny defence.
Joe Cooney to stretch the Galway lead to 4 points. 110 for Galway, 1-6 for Kilkenny. Galway playing with great confidence. Dixborough clubman Michael Walsh. Down to the farmer from Callan, John Power. Knocked away by Sean Tracy. Jerry McInerney getting it out, whereas Michael Phelan was fouled unquestionably by Michael Coleman. And this is an important free for DJ. They need to keep in touch, because at this moment in time, Galway are the team that are dominating. Galway have taken off Michael Kenny and have introduced number 20, Liam Fahey, Carnmore. As DJ Carey puts it over the bar. So just 3 points again between the sides. 110, 1-7.
Can you be looking out to DJ Carey and Eamon Morrissey in particular up front? They haven't been in the game at all today, and they're classy players who are well capable of getting scores, but they have been well marked, and they'd like to get them much more involved in the game and get on the ball a lot more.
Interesting to see how 22-year-old Liam Fahey copes. Back right corner forward. That ball goes in, harmlessly wide. Now, what can they do to resolve the problem here? And let's be honest, it's Kilkenny at the moment that looks like they have the greatest problem. The hottest of favourites against the no-hopers from the west, and that's when Galway are at their most dangerous. Fahey tussling with Eddie O'Connor. Good play by Liam Burke. Well blocked down. Excellent play by Willie O'Connor, but it falls nicely to Liam Fahey, and he drives it wide.
And that was brilliant defending there by Willie O'Connor, and it really is a great skill in hurling. A player who never takes his eye off the ball, and not giving away a stupid free in that situation. Eye on the ball, knocks away, and prevents almost certain score for Galway really by that.
A long puck up by Michael Walsh, knocked away by Tony Keady. Good play by Tom Hellebert, down to Joe Cooney. My friends in Galway tell me that he's been playing very well with his club at the moment, and certainly so far Cooney seems to be fulfilling that early promise. This is Michael Phelan in space to have a go for a point, but he drives it wide. And the more that this sort of thing happens to Kilkenny, the more it's likely that Kilkenny could well panic.
Yeah, they've had 3 or 4 most un-Kilkenny-like wides in the last few minutes, and they're usually experts at letting the ball in low to their inside forwards, to Carey and Morrissey and Liam Fennelly, and they just haven't been doing that. Now in particular, it was a very bad wide by Michael Phelan. Should have got a point there all on his own.
Ball falls down for ADRIAN Ronan, bank official in Kilkenny City. Can't control it. Sideline ball for Galway. 12 minutes gone in the second half. And that's what it's all about. Tom Hellebert sending it in towards Joe Rabbit. Liam Simpson come back to gather it. Gets it out for Pat Dwyer from Carrick Shock to Cooney, showing some of his old class, dropping a ball dangerously in, and just, in fact, the umpire, Michael Walsh, was looking for a little bit of inspiration there from the umpire, and for him to wave his hands, he didn't. So play continued. Michael Phelan sending it down towards DJ Carey, showing for the early ball and putting it over the bar.
That's a classy score by Kilkenny, and in particular a lot of credit to Eddie O'Connor there, under pressure in the zone defence, spots the midfielder loose, and resulting in a brilliant score for DJ Carey. That's a classy score by Kilkenny, and that's where they're so good at. They find loose men, and if you don't mark them tightly, they're great to
Interestingly, JAMESY Brennan, the shiner, is coming in for ADRIAN Ronan as Kilkenny rearrange their attack. An interesting tactic as well by Kilkenny is that DJ Carey is now playing full forward and Sean Tracy, obviously hoping to expose his lack of pace.
Yeah, well, Sean Tracy, in fairness, had got on top. We were saying he was in trouble early on, but he certainly got to grips with Liam Fennelly, and this move worked for Kilkenny in an earlier round game. They got a goal against Offaly, I think, and they're just hoping that it'll work the oracle again. DJ Carey, just after scoring a very good point, and they'll be hoping he can, with his pace, can trouble Sean Tracy. But you can see how concerned Kilkenny are. They're making changes all over the field at this stage, and they're under a lot of pressure now. Galway trying very, very hard.
Tom Helibert sending it up towards Joe Cooney. Brendan Keogh, Michael Phelan, and Keogh almost getting it back. This is John Power. Knocked away, well blocked down by Fahy. Justin Campbell, and he loves to solo with the ball. The slither hopping in the hurley, getting it inside, the referee not liking it, and fouled the ball, indicating the fact that he did actually foul it, so it's a free for Kilkenny. And we can confirm that Pat Malone is concussed at the moment, but is not being taken to hospital, so we're glad to hear that much at least. We wish him a speedy recovery. And being very well looked after as JAMESY Brennan comes in, and the shiner begins to sparkle. He's hardly in 30 seconds or so. He gets a point.
Good score again by JAMESY Brennan there, and Eamon Morrissey now playing at right half forward. They've obviously, Kilkenny feel they've got to get players like both himself and Carey into the game, and they brought him out right half forward in an effort to get him into the game. He set up a good score there for JAMESY Brennan.
1 point between the sides. Phelan very much coming into his own in midfield, into DJ Carey, who's held unquestionably by Sean Tracy, and that's going to be a booking offence for Sean Tracy for a personal foul. Willie Barrett going in to do exactly that. And as Jimmy was saying, putting DJ Carey in full forward worked very well against Offaly, because Brian Wheelahan followed him into the edge of the square. This time it's Sean Tracy's job as DJ takes the point, and the sides are level in Croke Park. We're exactly 16 minutes gone in the second half.
DJ Carey there, well worked, and as you were saying, he was just going to take on Sean Tracy. I think Sean probably knew what was going to happen if he didn't pull him by the jersey, and the referee had to book him. But again, a great delivery of the ball by Michael Phelan from midfield, who's a very busy player and delivers a very good ball into his forwards.
Now Galway have to reaffirm their superiority around midfield, and they get the break and the sideline cut. But the positional switches by Kilkenny, particularly in attack, seem to be working so far. Brendan Keogh. Again to Michael Phelan, but gives it to John Power. Kilkenny playing with a lot more passion now. The early ball again for DJ. Sean Tracy trying to hold on to him. It comes inside to Liam Fennelly. Richard Burke is there, and Burke is happy to get it anywhere. Down first, Tom Helibert, bursting his way past Christy Heffernan and JAMESY Brennan. Good play by the Galway man. This fight is far from over. Joe Cooney trying to get it in towards Michael Coleman. Pat Dwyer is there, so too is left cornerback Liam Simpson. And that's going to be a line ball for Galway. It's interesting now that Michael Coleman is inside around the edge of the square.
I think Joe Cooney has gone to left corner forward. Marty appears to be playing inside in the corner forward, and he was playing very well at centre half forward. I'm surprised that they've brought Joe Rabbit out there to switch with him. I thought Joe Cooney was playing very well there.
Tony Keady and Christy Heffernan. Comes to JAMESY Brennan. It's already beginning to pose problems. Christy Helibert getting it out towards Liam Fahy in space. Trying to get inside Michael Phelan. Good play by Fahy. Carnmore dispossessed. That's great play by Kilkenny. They're so good at that. Just putting the hurley in as you're about to strike it and frustrating you in the process. But this time, space runs out. It's a line ball for Galway. It's anyone's game, really, Jimmy.
Well, as you said, Michael Coleman has gone to full forward, Marty. He must have got an injury because he was playing quite well, and maybe he's just taking a break for a while. But Joe Cooney's operating at left corner forward now with Joe Rabbit centre half forward.
Jerry McInerney returned from the States and bought a pub in Ballinasloe, and they'll be drinking heavily there tonight if they can get into the All-Ireland final. McInerney with the sideline cut. Nice one in towards Joe Cooney, making room for himself. Sends it across to Liam Burke, half blocked down to Willie O'Connor. A little bit too casual, should be far more direct. And again they have the advantage, and they keep the pressure on the Leinster champions. 19.5 minutes gone in the second half. As Galway try to reaffirm their early superiority in the second half. And no doubt about it, the positional switches by Kilkenny have helped very much to bring them back into this match. Eddie O'Connor coming out to Bill Hennessy. Survives the challenge from Liam Burke to Christy Heffernan, leaving it for Eamon Morrissey. KEADY trying to pick it up. John Power seems to have the old brain working on full power because he's able to anticipate where the breaks are going to be. Christy Helibert fouls Liam McCarthy, so it's a free in for Kilkenny. And really,
there by Christy Heffernan, who has broken up the Galway half back line. Tony KEADY really hasn't got the grips with the game at all, Marty.
TJ Carey waiting for the referee to signal that he can take the free, and he drops it incredibly to the wrong side of the post. That's an amazing miss by TJ Carey.
That's most unlike him, but he hasn't been hitting the frees that well. I think in fact that's the third free he's missed, Marty. It's most unlike him.
Joe Rabbit underneath it at centre half forward now. Eamon Morrissey, and he's the corner forward. He's come way out to try and get it. In fact, to be fair, Kilkenny have switched him now to right half forward, and Liam McCarthy's gone into the corner. Christy Helibert, cleverly, that's nice play. Lovely play between Christy and Paul Cooney. It's confidence from a young, inexperienced side. Joe Rabbit, his gander is up as he goes past the Kilkenny 45. Trying to get away from Bill Hennessy. Gets it inside to Joe Cooney. It's a poor pass. Eddie O'Connor sending it right down the middle to Michael Phelan. Christy Heffernan trying to get underneath it. Terry McInerney. Tony KEADY. The old brigade now reaffirmed in the heart of the Galway defence. Rabbit again. A point here would be a real moral boost, but that goes to the left and wide. Disappointment for Galway, and still the sides deadlocked at 110 each. Michael Walsh always down the middle, trying to find Christy Heffernan. Galway playing with great fire. Great skill by John Power, getting it out to Christy Heffernan. It's a poor pass. Comes back to Jerry McInerney. Michael McGrath and Liam Simpson. Plenty of Galway players there. One of them is Joe Cooney. Pat Dwyer being sucked out of the full-back position. JAMESY BRENNAN. Christy Heffernan just getting a touch to it. This is DJ Carey. Tom Helibert taking his eye off it. Justin Campbell getting it back to Tom Helibert, surviving the challenge. Getting it up as Brendan Keogh, the 6'1" midfielder from Athenry, dropping it in, but that's going to cause no danger to anybody. And Galway certainly fighting for all their might at the moment. "13 minutes left in this All-Ireland semi-final. Who will play Cork on the first Sunday in September? Eamon Morrissey being told by Christy to drop it in fast. This is Tom Helibert again, playing well at right half back. Good ball down towards Justin Campbell. Willie O'Connor. As battled hard and long. John Power to JAMESY Brennan, the shiner, looks at the post. That's a mighty puck, dropping it in, and Richard Burke is there. The referee has given him the free. That's good play by the goalkeeper, kept his eye on it, and he's certainly a player of the future for Galway.
Yes, indeed, he's done very, very well today, Marty. He looks very cool, keeps his eye on the ball and doesn't be rattled by forwards coming in top of him at all. And this is a good ball in by JAMESY Brennan. In fact, I thought it was going over the bar at one stage, but it just dropped short. As you can see, DJ Kerry tries to swing us hurley out of here, but Richard Burke never takes his eye off it. And Eamon Morrissey comes in and heavy tackle there, but referee gives a free out to Galway.
Puck out comes down to Liam Burke. There's no questions being asked now. Kilkenny sensing that their place in the All-Ireland final is not totally guaranteed. DJ Carey getting inside Sean Tracy, and he takes the point. It's a move that is working for Kilkenny. The move of DJ to full forward.
Again, Mark, you can't beat direct hurling, and Michael Phelan here wins the ball in the middle of the field and delivers perfect ball into the inside forwards, and DJ Kerry, he's very good, controls the ball well and got a very good point there. That's what Kilkenny need to do on both sides, in fact, more direct hurling and faster ball to the forwards.
Joe Rabbit trying to get it in as quickly as possible now. This is Michael McGrath. Joe Cooney has taken up position at full forward. Bill Hennessy knocking it down. Coming in is Liam Burke, giving it inside to Justin Campbell, to Joe Cooney. Good position. Can he get inside? Still Cooney working for the equaliser. Great defending by Kilkenny, and still Cooney has it. He needs a little bit of support. It's a poor ball, intercepted by Willie O'Connor. And the Glenmore man comes forward confidently and lashes it down towards DJ, Christy Heffernan. Sean Tracy getting it up towards Brendan Keogh. Plenty of Kilkenny players there. The referee has given the free to Galway because John Power touched the ball on the ground. Now this might have been one of the slowest matches to get going, but now that it has kept us all very much entertained. And for dissent, Galway get an extra few metres. 26 minutes gone in the second half. Kilkenny lead by the narrowest of margins. Tony Keady sending it very much to the right and wide. And that's a disappointment for Galway. They really need a score here just to keep in touch. But they're by no means out of it, this Galway side, as Michael Walsh takes the puck out. John Power showing that they've handballers down that part of the country as well. Then DJ Carey giving it inside. Ian Finlay coming across. Richard Burke has to come out to clear. When he gets to the short distance, and Liam McCarthy puts it in. Liam McCarthy from Piltown, and the Kilkenny women are happy. And I'm sure that Nan Brennan in the Mater Hospital is as well. He broke his finger against Wexford, but he had two hands on the hurley as he got that slither into the back of the Galway net.
DJ Carey again here does very well. You can see him winning the ball and takes on the defence always, and turns his man. A great pace again, you can't beat it. Quick hand pass across the goal, just a bit too far in front of Liam Finlay, who still goes for the ball, fully commits himself, and it breaks loose to Liam McCarthy, and one-handed sweeps into the net. Very good play by all the Kilkenny forwards.
Back at the other end, it's action all the way now. Joe Rabbit, after a great run, tried to get a shot in, which was blocked down by a wall of Kilkenny men, and eventually they get the free.
I have to say, in fairness though, Richard Burke was unlucky there, came off his line well, but Liam Finlay was so committed. He managed to commit himself to breaking the ball, and when it broke loose, like any good corner forward, Liam McCarthy was there and swept it home. Vital goal for Kilkenny, and you know, they hadn't been playing that well, but maybe that's just the break they needed.
Pat Dwyer sending it right down the middle. Tony Keady knocking it away. It's a real test of character now for this young Galway team. Liam Simpson using the wings intelligently to JAMESY Brennan, and the shiner has brought new life to this Galway, to this Kilkenny team. But mind you, he gives it away to Galway very easily there. Tom Hellebert And from where the ball landed, that foul by Liam Fennelly on Tom Helibert means that Galway get the free on the 45-metre line. And Liam Fennelly indicating to the linesman that he was actually going for the ball.
See Tom Helibert here, a poor pass by JAMESY BRENNAN, and ball breaks out. Tom Helibert and Liam Fennelly is following up. I think in fairness he was committed to trying to block down the ball, and I thought it was a harsh decision to award a free from where the ball landed.
The other end, Joe Cooney puts it over the bar. So now Galway still there. 2-11, 1-11. One goal separating the sides. 29 minutes gone in the second half. 6 left on the clock. Can the tribesmen get the equaliser? Brendan Keogh trying to open it up and find Justin Campbell. Joe Cooney, Pat Dwyer, Liam Simpson, 3 Kilkenny players there. Half blocked down. Comes to Willie O'Connor. Liam Fennelly breaking it away from his markers, sending it into DJ Carey. Now playing a corner forward. DJ sending it across Eamon Morrissey. And that was a lucky break for Galway. There's a goal written all over it. Down towards Michael McGrath and Willie O'Connor. He really has played well at left half back. He's looking for a colleague. He's there in the form of John Power, half blocked by Tom Helibert. Liam Fennelly again. And Sean Tracy maintains he was not holding him. But the referee decides that he was, and it's a free. And a relatively easy one for DJ Carey. A safe margin of 4 points is at stake here. Puts it over to make it 2-12 to 1-11. 5 minutes left in Croke Park. Galway again are making changes. And Eamon Burke has been brought in at full forward, and Liam Fahey, who was introduced as a substitute at the start of the second half, has been taken off. And Joe Cooney stays at corner forward, Eamon Burke at full forward.
I would have thought that they might have brought Joe Cooney back out to half forward line, Marty, because they're going to have to get scores, and Joe Rabbit really hasn't been a success there since he went out, and maybe they should try that switch again. It's a line ball for Galway. And Jerry McInerney is coming across to take it. Now, can Galway produce something in the final 4 minutes? Sending it across, once again, it is Willie O'Connor that gets there. The break falls nicely for the Galway man, and he sends it wide. Michael Coleman, the guilty party. Michael Walsh. He's now just 3 minutes away from playing in an All-Ireland final. Christy Heffernan unable to hold on to it. Down towards Justin Campbell. Liam Simpson right beside him. Michael McGrath on inside. It's a goal really that Galway need. And Michael Hopper McGrath knows that. Tries to get it across. Charlotte, Justin Campbell blocked by Pat Dwyer. Eamon Burke coming into challenge, and that goes out over the line. Interesting tactics by Galway, introducing Eamon Burke at full forward. And he's well able to score. Well pulled on by Christy Heffernan to JAMESY BRENNAN. DJ Carey underneath it, and he has it. And he puts it wide. And really, Carey's moving to full forward has caused a lot of problems. He certainly has been a great success in the second half, Marty. He wasn't playing that well in the first half, well out of the game, but he's played well at full forward, and he's got some good ball in there, and uncharacteristic for him there. He won a great ball in the air, but struck it badly wide. But I think Kilkenny just about have done enough to win today. They've played better in the second half without really playing probably as well as they would have liked to play.
Michael McGrath up to Eamon Burke. Pat Dwyer just trying to get a hurley to it. Justin Campbell, this is Dwyer again. It's a line ball for Galway. 2 minutes left on the clock. Brendan Keogh to take it.
There's still time for Galway if they can get the ball to Joe Cooney, who's a bit out of position at left corner forward. I feel he's not getting any ball in there, and he's still a player capable of getting a goal if you get the ball into him.
Michael Phelan, all the time in the world. Give a long delivery. Tom Helibert. Well blocked down by Liam Fennelly, but it gets a hurley a sufficient distance. Sean Tracy. Liam Simpson waiting for it. Again, Michael Phelan. Left behind, but Liam Fennelly gathers it. Damon Morrissey. Just to make sure, not quite. But as they say, it's almost as good as a score at this stage, as we now have just over 34.5 minutes gone. Ollie Walsh encouraging his players to keep going. You haven't won this until the final whistle blows. Christy Heffernan, an easy one, as Galway heads just seem to drop now. Christy Helibert gets the free, and it's the last charge for Galway, and even then they have a 4-point deficit to overcome. Bill Hennessy, Paul Phelan, dispossessed as Joe Rabbit gathers it, sending it across, and once again this man Willie O'Connor is there. Break falls nicely. Michael Phelan sending it in. There's DJ Carey, and he has a habit of scoring goals in the final few minutes, and this time he sends it wide. He just seemed to lose possession at a very vital moment, and DJ is disgusted. But it matters little, as Kilkenny look to be safely through to the 1992 All-Ireland final. Paul Phelan sending it back down. Sean Tracy, tackled by Liam Fennelly. And that's a line ball for Kilkenny.
Yeah, here you can see DJ, the ball was actually side-footed in by Michael Phelan to DJ Carey, and that explosive burst of pace which gets him away from defenders. He just loses control as he's going to flick it past the keeper, and goalkeeper comes out and doesn't well to knock him off it, and just puts it wide.
Christy Helibert under a little bit of pressure. Terry McInerney, Liam McCarthy is there. Eamon Morrissey to finish the job off. He puts it over the bar. That's definitely now Kilkenny through to the All-Ireland final. 213 to 111. Paul Phelan first to the ball. Getting it down to JAMESY Brennan. As Kilkenny rule the roost. This is Michael Coleman. And another free for Galway. What an influence this man has given the Kilkenny attack since he was introduced. Gave it new life. Michael Phelan played a fine game in midfield for Kilkenny this afternoon. This is Brendan Keogh. Cross to Liam Burke. Trying to get inside Paul Phelan. And that reduces down the lead, but not very well from a Galway point of view. It's 213 now to 112. Still 4 points. And Kilkenny deep into injury time now. 37 minutes gone in the second half. And the referee is going to blow the final whistle. Kilkenny are there. They're in against Cork on the first Sunday in September. And they're so determined to get there. And they did it in style. The final score, Kilkenny 213, Galway 112.